Hi guys, welcome to this stream. Thanks so much for joining today on Fox 5 Live inside the DC Digital Newsroom. A lot of stuff going on this week. Obviously, we've been covering the Harvey recovery in Houston, and we have more pictures coming in from there, guys. A live look right now inside the Houston Convention Center. They are helping to shelter people and gathering people to give and help out for the people who have been affected. You can see right there the American Red Cross table and more. So we have a live cam inside there, and we'll be checking that out throughout the day. Also, here's a live bump shot just of what it looks like down there. We saw this road earlier this week, and we were saying that the information coming from Houston is that the water is receding, but it's still so damaged. People are still trying to get out, get their pets out. We've seen ride-alongs on rescue boats and all sorts of stuff amidst this recovery. So there's a live look at that, one of those flooded streets right there. We're going to keep our eye on those feeds that we have coming from Fox for you guys to bring you live news. But in other news, I mean, we have a lot of mix of stuff going on, including some political things going on. So with President Trump, the big talk today is DACA. It's the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals presidential policy. So it's not a law, it's a policy, and it's one of former President Obama's signature immigration policies that deals with undocumented children of immigrants, and if they have the ability to stay and work and go to school here in the U.S. President Trump has the ability to flip that, reverse it, and it's all coming down possibly today, possibly this week, and they said that they want a decision by next Tuesday. So we're going to keep an eye on that, guys, and see if anything comes out of DACA this is a hot topic this week in politics. So we haven't seen a ton from President Trump. He visited the Houston area with Melania Trump earlier this week, and we saw that. We took that live for you guys. We'll be following all that, and the question is also if President Trump decides to nix the program, the policy. It's not definite that these children of undocumented immigrants would go back to their countries right away or not be able to stay. He could ask for more time from his attorneys to make a decision. And there are many other things that are in limbo with what could happen with that. So not totally set in stone regarding that. But we'll keep an eye on that, guys. If we have any live information coming out, we'll shoot right over to that live camera. You're looking at a shot inside our newsroom, guys. This is our channel, so thanks for joining us. If you want to be part of the channel, click subscribe so you can see when we come up during the day for you guys with live news, anything breaking. Speaking of some interesting stuff coming out of Crosby, Texas, as you guys see, this is an aerial shot of Arkema, the chemical plant in Crosby, Texas, which suffered from two explosions on Thursday. It was organic peroxide explosions. There's a little zoom in there of what it looks like, some aerials of the shot. And it is sort of a fallout, a consequence of what has happened with the hurricane. So they're actually expecting this is still a dangerous area. They're expecting possible other explosions at this plant. So that's what you're looking at here.
Where a small plane has gone down. Source of the aerials is WTVT. You must see WTVT if you think the aerial is live. You're often permitted to stream these on your social media sites. Again, it's on channel 2.
So just a little look there at the chemical plant, guys, that was affected by those explosions the other day. Not too compelling video, I don't think. I can't quite tell what's going on there, but some pictures for you guys to kind of put that in perspective. We're just now getting word, guys, of a breaking event in Tampa, Florida. Check this out. A small plane is down in Tampa. We're going to effort some more information for you guys and bring that to you live.
That's smart. TrueCar can help. It's also great for finding the perfect used car. See what a fair price is, and you can connect with a TrueCar certified dealer. So no matter what you're looking for, there it is. This is how buying a used car should be. This is TrueCar.
Guys, not too much information on what you're looking at right now, but you're looking at raw aerial video, chopper video from this. We've seen this before. This is not the first time we've seen small planes, including that one, if you guys were on a few months ago, that was crashed into the highway in Los Angeles. This time, this is Tampa, Florida. And this happened before in Tampa Bay, actually, this past March. There was a small plane that went down. The pilot was able to get out of the plane unscathed and make it to the ground there. But we don't know right now, no identification of the pilot, how many people were in it, if anybody is injured or, God forbid, there is a fatality. We don't know right now. Going to investigate more about this, but yeah, for now, guys, this is a live shot from the Tampa area, or Tampa, Florida, rather, where a small plane has crashed into the water there, and I actually don't even know the exact location of this, but we're going to look up more for you guys and get it for you. Thanks for watching Fox 5 Live here in DC, guys. You're looking at live shot in Florida, this chopper video over this small plane that has crashed. More on that when we have it. All right, guys, some information about this, finding out from the U.S. Coast Guard Southeast. Apparently, they rescued 2 people after this plane went down in St. Petersburg area, Florida. So the plane actually made a water landing and 2 people were rescued. So we're finding out from Twitter. At least we know everything is okay in that situation, but no more details on the incident. It just happened this morning after 11 a.m. in Florida. So it looks like that chopper is heading out, guys. Quick little piece of live news for you there, but it's over and done with, and thank goodness everyone is okay. 2 people rescued after the plane landed in the water there near the airport. So, all right, guys, we're going to switch it up as I think we're losing this feed. Take you back inside the Houston Convention Center where things are underway. There's still people there. We got a camera inside, lots of people there to help out, help anybody that is in need in Houston. Looks like we'll have this shot for a while. We'll continue to bring you guys any live reports from the flooded streets that's still going on in Houston. I know a bunch of live reporters are there to bring back that, including our sister station down in Houston, Fox 26. So stay with us for more on the Houston recovery. And let me know what you are thinking about and want to chat about. You can use the chat box to chat with me and get at us here in the digital newsroom.
Yes, you can run here.
Guys, I think we still have this shot up. I want to bring it to you in case you're just joining us on the show of this small plane crash in St. Petersburg, Florida. U.S. Coast Guard has given the clear that this plane was trying to make a water landing, and 2 people were rescued from the plane near that small airport down there. So it looks like chopper video is still up. We'll bring you this so you can take a live look at what is going on down there.
That's no problem. We could do it every night. We could do anything.
It's just, yeah, for females, they can we do without clothes. That's new.
I think they know. Okay. I don't want to be after being at DCC, although the first 2 days.
Yeah. You did a great job.
And then other CBS
All right, guys, there has apparently been another crash this time in Georgia. I'm going to take you to some live pictures of a helicopter crash in Gwinnett County. Police say that 2 officers were in this helicopter and they were taken to a hospital. They were said to be conscious and talking. I don't have any sound on this video, unfortunately, but the crash apparently happened 200 yards from a hangar where it was supposed to be. The officer and the pilot, those are the 2 people that were involved, were trapped inside and were rescued and taken conscious to the hospital. So that's what we know right now, guys. This is the Atlanta, Georgia area, a helicopter crash. No word on exactly what caused this or how the officer and pilot are doing now. This happened a little bit ago. This report came out 10 or so minutes ago. We're going to find some tweets from the police department in that county to bring to you as well. So you can see, guys, from the tweet, looks like that's the latest from the Gwinnett County Fire Department, Police Department down in the Atlanta area. 2 people were extricated from this helicopter that you're seeing right here, and it sounds like both were, according to the tweet, conscious, alert, and talking, and they've been transported. So we're going to switch it up to... Do you guys remember last week there was a little bit of controversy surrounding President Trump's rally in Phoenix? Now, a lot of people were saying protesters were alleging that police had responded with unnecessary force. the police actually came back and released some new video yesterday. I thought this was quite interesting to talk about what really happened at that Trump rally and give us more insight as to the video that they took to kind of show what went on with protesters and police in that clash outside of that convention center in Phoenix. President Trump spoke in the downtown convention center, and it was during the evening hours, so I think we played back some video the next day about it, but this was interesting. So Phoenix police releasing some new video on this. We're going to play this out because it's pretty cool to see, I think, and if anything is breaking or more compelling, we'll jump over to that live for you guys.
Bouncing off people, running through, yelling. Again, that just tends to enhance the entire negative tension in these types of events. Here we are on Monroe, Donna, where we have that pedestrian fencing, and we can see our first time when people identifying themselves with the Antifa signs arrive at the location. So these signs become very important as we progress through this for a variety of reasons. Our intelligence gathering, our experience in past practices lets us know that, excuse me, they use those signs to conceal their identity. They use those signs to conceal their actions. And ultimately, they use the poles on those signs not only as weapons, but to dislodge and to turn over pedestrian fencing and police line fencing like we see here. The officers on the scene that day were seeing the people behind those flags, putting on masks, passing things back and forth. We believe those were water bottles. We believe those were frozen water bottles and other bits of ice. You see they've moved up to the fencing. Pause it right there for a second, Vince. So what they've done, they've moved up because at this point, and we'll see it here in just a second, they're going to try to do a couple things. But ultimately, they're going to try to breach this fencing, enter our safety area. That is problematic for a variety of reasons. Most notably, at this exact time, this is when the president is leaving the building. He is coming out into this area to be driven away from his rally. At the same time, all of the people who were inside the rally are now egressing and about to join this group in the streets. There was also quite a few people that were not able to make it in, that were still waiting in line, and they just found out that they weren't going to make it into the rally. They are also egressing. So we have a bit of a head coming together. We need to ensure that we maintain some order and some public safety so people don't get hurt. This pedestrian fencing, so you know, is mechanically tied together, and then it's also zip tied together so that we can ensure that it stays intact. The downside to that is if they use their signs and they topple that fencing, the entire line of fencing goes, including all of these people leaning against that fencing. There's concern that that would create a crush hazard, not only to those people, but then it would prevent emergency services coming in to come to their aid. Go ahead. Speak. Oh, as we look here, I think we've heard some people talk about it being a very crowded section. It was a crowded section, thank you. But behind the group of people, you can see there's about 30 or 40 feet most of the night. We actually opened up an overflow section to allow people area to safely stand. As people start to egress, you're going to see how quickly they are free to walk away from this area. They can't come to the south because of the fencing, but they're very free to leave to the east, to the west, or to the north. Again, we have the officers down here. They're not wearing gas masks. They're not wearing anything other than helmets. The reason that they're wearing helmets at this point is because for several hours now, we had sporadic incidents of people throwing things at us. When we say things at us, we know that they were throwing water bottles. We know they were throwing frozen water bottles. We were throwing bricks, rocks, shoes, and other things, including things that were lit on fire, were coming in at us. As you look closely, you'll see, it's hard to see in amongst all the crowd, but as it comes through, you'll see things flying through the air. This had been going on for several hours, not at any given time where there's multiple, projectiles a minute for any given period of time, but over the course of several hours, officers were having things thrown at them. Right now, they're trying to breach our fence. Officers are using pepper balls. They're targeting only those people actively engaged in violence. Only this small group attempting to breach the fence is being targeted. What they're also doing is they're not using them as impact weapons at this point. They're using them to disperse powder. That's why they're striking the ground, so that the powder has an effect on this select group of people, hoping to leave all of these people out of harm's way because they're not doing anything wrong at this point. you'll see that very few of these people are immediately impacted. Yet those people that were engaged in that act are certainly stopped with their actions. That's exactly what we wanted. In fact, the tactical commander who runs this operation at that point put everybody on hold and said, let's wait for this small dispersal of agents to take effect. Our hope is that we can disperse the group creating the chaos and the hazard while allowing the vast majority to stay and continue to voice their opinions and concerns. What happens, unfortunately, is as these people disperse, they don't leave the area. They actually intermingle and conceal themselves within the crowd. It is very difficult to tell the difference between somebody who was just engaged in that behavior and somebody else next door. There is no special jersey or anything that they wear. What you will see is that some of them are wearing masks. Some are actually, he's wearing a gas mask, I believe. You'll see people in helmets. You'll see other people concealing their identities in other ways. You'll see people with backpacks. Many of those people in the backpacks are carrying gas masks prior to anything. And they're carrying, again, frozen water bottles, and other projectiles. Again, you can see the officers calmly standing down here, monitoring the events, not wearing any gas masks. We have no reason. We have not dispersed any agent into the air. You can see how quickly these people, many of them have chosen to leave. This group is choosing to remain. It should be pretty clear that this is now an unlawful event. Early on, we heard the chief talk about them dispersing gas at us first. And that's what I want to show you here. It's going to switch angles because we've been able to compile these videos from several different angles that I think are most impactful. Pause it. This was not ours. We do not have gas that looks like this, that reacts like this. There's a couple other things that I need you to see. Pause. Hopefully you can see it bouncing through, sparking along the way. We know by its volume, its color, everything else, that is not ours. Additionally, I think it's very important to point out that we don't deploy gas behind our lines. It would be in front of our lines to dispel people and encourage them to leave the area. What you also notice is that these officers are not wearing gas masks, right? We would not deploy gas without allowing our officers to put their gas masks on because they become ineffective. So it should be very clear that this gas came in before we used any gas in this area. Pause one more time. The trouble with them using gas is multiple. It ups their level of violence, and more concerning to us is we do not know what type of gas they are using. Right? We can see it's in the air, we can see it's been dispersed, but we don't know its health hazards. We don't know what it's going to do to all of these people in the area if they inhale it, if they breathe it, if they touch it. We don't know how it's going to react. We know the type of agents that we use. We know the health hazards. We measure those health hazards against the risks that we are now facing, and we deploy them safely, and we deploy them after extensive hours and hours of training. This is a gas we do not know, and we do not know its impact on our community. That man that was filming that went inside to get away from the gas, and then you really couldn't see much from that angle, so that's why that video got cut at that location. This man here, you might recognize him from other videos. You can see he's wearing a gas mask. Again, we have not deployed any gas yet. He's already armed himself with a gas mask. Again, if you watch closely, you'll see projectiles coming in. You'll see these officers are not quite masked up yet, but very shortly they will be putting them on. After that other one, they've gotten the command, put your mask on. They've deployed some type of agent against us. And then again, one of the officers recognized that it may be similar, but we don't know what it's mixed with. So our officers begin to mask up. You can hear people in this section yelling at people, stop throwing things at the cops. You can hear them yelling, peaceful protest. Again, if you look back at the other angles, you'll see the officers are not engaged in anything. They're standing there monitoring the activities while people within the crowd are pleading with others, stop throwing things. You're going to watch over here. It'll be circled shortly. Officers are masking up because of what we've already seen. Did it go, Vince? Not yet. Again, switch to better angle. So we're going to see another gas canister come in. It's going to land over in this general area right here. While these officers are in the process of putting on their mask, it would not be our practice or anyone's practice that does this to deploy something without allowing our officers to protect themselves first because they become ineffective. You see this small plume of smoke, some type of gas. We have not identified it. We're concerned. We're concerned for officers. We're concerned for the safety until we know exactly what it is and what hazards it presents. Notice the size. It's pretty minimal. When we look at some of the gas that we ultimately do put out, you'll see that ours has a much greater volume. Again, non-responsive officers are standing, they're monitoring, they're watching, they're working under the direction of 1 or 2 incident commanders. This right here is the first time that we deployed any type of smoke. Play it out. When I say smoke, that is different from gas. Smoke is just that. It is an inert smoke. It is meant to encourage people to leave the area. It does not have any tearing. It does not have any effect on a person's breathing or anything like that. It is inert. It is smoke only. It is meant to encourage people to leave the area. We hear people saying throwing bottles, and you'll see more things come in. You'll see our guy up here again. No, we missed him. That's all right. Throwing canisters back at us. Pause it for just a sec, Vince. So a couple things when it comes to people throwing canisters back. When we deploy canisters of gas or smoke, we deploy it into a specific area that we have chosen to allow people to safely egress from the area. It is not meant to harm them. It is meant to encourage them to leave the area. When people pick them up and throw them back at us, they have zero training in the hazards. They have zero training in where to throw them. And they end up throwing them in different locations that were not intended. So it may end up being more chaotic because they are creating it by expanding out the area where the gas or smoke is being deployed. Back up just a sec, Vince. Right before the that one that comes in and hits them. That's it. Okay.
Is that all police stuff going on now, or can you differentiate?
So what I can tell you is that I can't be certain, Donna. Most of this is probably police stuff, and most of it is probably smoke at this point. Shortly, we're going to get into other agents, but right now this is mostly smoke, mostly police. But we know there has already been at least 2 other ones put out by others. You can't tell what it is by the color. It's kind of the manufacturer, what they had in stock at the time, and kind of what we got. It doesn't tell you whether it's smoke or whether it's a different agent. These people clearly are not trying to leave. They're trying to be there. Sorry. Hopefully you saw that flaming one come in, strike that officer on the leg. Real quick. And bounce back out. Based on the volume, I don't believe that to be ours, but I can't be 100% sure. If you look at this one here, this is the type of volume that we look for in our equipment. That was obviously a much lower volume. Again, calm, controlled response from police. They remain under the direction of incident commanders. We don't have officers running around. We don't have officers chasing people around. Our goal right now is that people leave the area safely. We provided encouragement through them. Some of the things that we're going through as we watch this. Oh, let's see us flag. Did I miss it? So up in this area, you'll see it. It's quick. One of the flags came in on a long pole, type of a javelin coming in. As we progress through some of our tools that we use, it starts with our verbal presence. It starts with an officer in uniform. And then as we progress and we put helmets on and we put shields on and we make announcements and we do different things, those are all intended to get people to stop criminal behavior and or leave the area. At this point, we're not pushing anybody anywhere. We're encouraging them to leave.
So again, guys, if you're just joining us or watching, this is video footage that Phoenix police released last night, and obviously he's there talking about it too. regarding the police protester interaction from last week outside the convention center. Now, also this week there was a Phoenix City Council meeting, and there was some uproar there as well, where police were trying to defend their actions, and other people on either side, anti-Trump or not, were making their case and making their statements known. So anyway, just some interesting video from last night about the security footage that has finally been revealed to the public. He speaks about this a little longer, guys. We'll go back to more coverage of the flooding in Houston and our bump shots down there, what it looks like, with more updates on sort of what's going on down there, and news from some of the shelters as well. Apparently, about 30,000 people are in shelters now, guys. 10,000 have been rescued. The death toll stays at 39 or so from this morning in Houston. We'll go back with more Houston coverage in a second. I'm going to check back into this video here from Phoenix Police.
That is our aircraft lighting it up. Our aircraft is making announcements encouraging people to disperse the area. Prior to this, in addition to all of the visual cues we were giving people, we were making individual announcements to people on the scene. We were really trying to target those people that were actively engaged in criminal acts. It's not our goal to tell everybody you have to go home. It's our goal to tell those people that are engaged in criminal acts you have to go home. And unfortunately, they did not. They did not stop. They continued to increase their level of disruption and violence, and that ends up having a negative impact on everybody. So I talked about the fencing being connected and cut. Our officers have gone up. They've cut the fence at a particular spot that we had predetermined. They've moved through, and now they're going to go move up and make sure that the crowd is continuing to disperse and, again, not create additional criminal acts. There's a couple of pauses in this, sorry. Here's our guy again with his gas mask that many of you probably recognize. Another flaming object thrown at police. Here you see masked people. You see people with bags. You see people with packages of water bottles wearing masks. They are throwing those water bottles, frozen or not, at police officers. We have other people, again, wearing masks. We have people over here just filming. We have people concealing and unconcealing their identity. Right here, if you look in this, you'll see a flaming object thrown at police. Have not been able to identify what that object was, but it's very clear as you look at different levels of video that it is on fire when it is thrown at police. Again, we have them throwing things at police, and we have them redistributing our gas canisters. Again, that creates additional hazard because it puts it in an area that we did not intend. Here's our guy yet again, still engaged in activity. You can hear the announcements from the helicopter being made now. To Van Buren at this point. You can see here, it's an active roadway. We have other people coming into the area. We have people traveling through the area. Again, officers controlled the line, acting under specific instructions from their commander. So that's where we are right now. I worked very hard not to provide opinion. I tried to keep this fact-based on what we were seeing on the thing. I think it's important that if somebody's wearing a gas mask and police aren't, their intentions are likely different than ours. I think it's important to point out that if a gas canister is deployed behind our police line when our police officers are not wearing gas masks, it's more than likely not a police gas canister. So some of those things I'm trying to provide perspective. I'm not trying to dissuade anybody from their opinion or from their perspective, just trying to provide one additional perspective that we've seen thus far. At this point, we are continuing with our review. Our Professional Standards Bureau is conducting that in conjunction with our Downtown Operations Unit and our tactical response unit. Again, if anybody has video links, information, evidence that they think is important to this investigation, please encourage them to either email it to commendcomplaint@phoenix.gov or call our Professional Standards Bureau at 602-262-4580. I can do my best to try to answer a few questions, but again, I want to remain fact-based at this point. I don't want to try to surmise some things. I'll get to you in just one second. And understand that we are early in our review. We do expect that we will learn new things on a near daily basis.
Before the event, the chief said that you were in contact with, various law enforcement agencies and also community groups, activist groups, whatever. Did you have any knowledge ahead of time that these people were going to be out there?
We did have some indications that there were going to be people coming to the scene intent on causing disruption. Absolutely.
I don't exactly know what you guys are calling them. I think foam projectiles or whatnot. When did those come out? I don't know if you...
Sure. So foam projectiles, when we're using an impact weapon, and it's not a perfect system. Let me say that in advance. There may have been people struck by impact projectiles that were unintended, but our intent is to only use impact projectiles against specific individuals engaged actively in violent activity. And that may be the people that are picking up the gas canisters and throwing them back at us, throwing weapons at us, throwing frozen water bottles at us. So those are intended to strike only those people actively engaged in that conduct. So it comes after announcements, it comes after uniforms, it comes after smoke, it comes after gas. It comes quite a long way when we have some people left that aren't heeding all these other warnings to leave the area.
Can you specify what those projections were? Were they rubber bullets, with dowels? What were
they are foam batons is what they're called. They're blue foam batons. I think that some of them are black just by, again, manufacturer. But they're a soft foam, have a lower kinetic energy.
Guys, going to take a minute from this. Remember, this was from last night, a released video. Phoenix police made a statement about the Trump rally and the protests that clashed with the protesters outside that rally last week. But right now, let's go down to Houston because we have a live shot coming in with our reporter down there updating us on Harvey recovery. So let's go over there.
All kinds of food. Breakfast, tacos, kolaches, Italian, Mexican. I love food, but my heart just breaks for the people that are here that are losing their homes. But the most important thing is to be safe, and to have everybody out here helping is the most important thing. And
that's exactly what Bonnie's doing, talking about that Texas spirit. It's alive and well in this part of the community in Lake Jackson. I'm Stephen Morgan, Fox 26 News.
So, guys, looks like we just caught the tail end of that. He's now speaking back to the station. But we've seen him before this week covering the Harvey efforts and cleanup. And looks like we have this shot kind of lingering on today to get a sense of what people are doing in their recovery, and if maybe they've gone back to get their pets.
That we've been using this morning, that marker there with the yellow reflector, Bonnie's just walking in front to grab some water, that was totally dry. And I would say several inches, 5-6 inches, maybe even a little bit more. I've been watching a few like floating ant colonies as well. They have now gotten into the water and moved on. The stop sign was totally dry. We were a lot further down. So I'd say the flood here has risen several inches. I wouldn't talk about it in feet, but I do know that crest is supposed to happen later in the week, and I heard Mike talking about that. This area, it's just beginning. This road was dry. It's now covered in water, and it continues to fill up. And people that have experienced floods, some people 40 years, you heard us talking to Bill just last hour. Bill has been here for 40 years. He's experienced 4 different floods. This one, he's expecting 60 inches in his home. 27 inches is all he saw in the Memorial Day flood, so certainly catastrophic and way different and way more powerful than last year's and even years prior. Sure thing. Bonnie, thank you. Great job.
So there it is, just little updates on how things are going down there as people continue to evacuate and or find shelter. Like I was mentioning earlier, 30,000 people are in shelters, guys. And the death toll, as of this morning, we reported it was 39 down there. So it is rising. And the stories of the people who have passed on are scary, very tragic, very sad to read. But like I said, there is some good out of this, of course, and the people in shelters are doing everything they can to keep people kind of uplifted. And one example of this I want to show you guys from the Lone Star Expo Convention Center, about 20 miles north of Houston. I was reading. There was a woman there who sang, and this video, guys, let me show you this, has gone viral, more than 7 million views. I don't know if anyone has seen this, but I'm going to show it to you side by side with this Houston coverage. Check out this video from inside a shelter.
Say, King Jesus, King Jesus. Your name will lift your glory, shaking up. We want revival. We want to see your kingdom. We want to see it. King Jesus, your name will lift your glory, shaking up. Shout revival. We want to see your kingdom. We want to see your kingdom come. Sing it again. Say, King Jesus, you're the name. Revival. Shaking up. We want to see. Let us see your kingdom. We want to see your kingdom. Come on, just one more time. Shout, King Jesus, you're the name. Your glory, shaking up. We want revival. We want to see your kingdom. 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 One more time. We want to see your kingdom. We want to see your kingdom.
Yeah, so guys, that was just 2 minutes of a 21-minute video of a gospel singer, this woman singing inside the shelter. So people obviously doing things to keep the spirits up and trying to make these more happy times, I guess, for the people that are still evacuating. And interestingly, guys, I'm going to quickly jump over because I think we're getting an update on that helicopter crash, the police helicopter crash in Georgia. Let me check this out. Okay, actually, guys, we did not get that live update. Unfortunately, that was we don't have anything on that. But gonna keep you with Harvey recovery updates, guys. And actually, one of the other reporters at our sister station down there has a really cool bit on how people try to actually self evacuate themselves. So let me bring you this video now. It's pretty interesting.
And I want to show you what's going on here. Behind me, you'll see, of course, a lot of flooding, but also the remnants of people self-evacuating. So the neighborhood behind me, there are hundreds of homes, according to the Fort Bend County Sheriff's Department, and many of them have evacuated, and they fear that there are some people back there that haven't evacuated. There are several feet of water, so it is really dangerous here. The water is just nasty. I'm standing here with my rain boots, but it's on dry ground because I was told by the sheriff's deputy that there are alligators. When I got here at 4:30 a.m., there are alligators and snakes in the water. So I thought it's probably not a good idea for me to get in there. And I'm not going to, and you shouldn't either. The reason I'm saying that too is because there have been children who just tried to play in the water. I know they're probably getting stir crazy at home because there's no school, there's nothing much to do, and they probably don't want to watch the news, but do not get in the water. It is very dangerous. There's all types of contamination in there as well. It's just nasty. And what you probably can't tell from watching this Facebook feed is the fact that there are mosquitoes everywhere, and it smells really bad, probably like raw sewage or just rotten something. I don't really know what, but point is, this is the condition that evacuees and people that live here are having to deal with, not just here, but Houston and surrounding areas. So let me show you what's going on. All right, so here is all of the flooding that we're seeing here. This is Mason Road right here. And I'm gonna try to zoom in so you can see, these are just the tops of 2 cars, but there are many more cars here, according to the sheriff's deputy. And it is like a lake out here. I'm sure you've seen and heard that a bunch. But again, hundreds of homes back here. The sheriff's deputy says they range from very high-end homes to, you know, just normal homes, apartment complexes, all kinds of stuff. Anyways, it is just very dangerous water. Like I said, because there are alligators and snakes here. I actually found a dead snake. I'll show it to you. It's not that disgusting, so I'll show you right here. So they're really small, but they're there. Okay, so this is the remnants of knowing people have actually tried to self-evacuate and have done so because all of the stuff is here on what I'm calling shore, but just dry land. You can see here people have used kayaks, even an air mattress. Yeah, an air mattress too. And rafts. There's a ladder here. And there are kennels, so we know that people tried to save their pets as well. Here are the kennels. And here's some of the rest of flotation devices. You could see stuff that you'd see in a pool people use to get across here. And these waters, like I said, very dangerous. Hey Ralphie, hey Dave. So that's what we're seeing here. You see the water here, it's a better idea of how nasty and disgusting it is. These waters, just, yeah, it's just gross. Look at that. Just gross water. You think it kind of looks like just mud, but that's just the top of what's floating on the water. Again, this is the Cinco Ranch area north of West Park Tollway, just maybe even half a mile north of West Park Tollway and Mason Road. So, like I've been showing people, hey Rick, hey Shanasi, thanks for joining in, and thanks guys for sharing this so you guys know what's going on out here. Look at these cars.
You guys are watching a reporter live, Facebook Live kind of digital scene there from Houston just moments ago, and I'm just showing it to you guys because it's kind of a cool behind the scenes inside look at the efforts down there and how people are actually trying to evacuate themselves and what they're using. a really neat little way to kind of see what's actually going down on the ground there. Sometimes we have a live reporter down there at our station, our sister station, and we'll bring that to you live as well. In that upper left box is what you see, that sort of still shot of that still flooded road, which is amazing. So more details to come on that, guys. A quick look at the convention center live. There it is, Houston Convention Center. There's the Red Cross getting together and doing their thing to assist. I'm sure, I know that they've had a lot of people come to volunteer, a lot of people, of course, donating. We've seen that in the news, dominating that. President Trump donating $1 million of his own personal funds. That was recently put out there. So we're hearing a lot about that stuff. But a live look at the convention center there. And then the gospel singer that we just played out. People finding a bright spot in all of the gloom of what's going down there. So we'll go back to this Facebook digital live that she did down in Houston just moments ago for you guys to see kind of behind the scenes.
They're in the middle of the road because somebody used that to try to get away. We've seen a couple of those actually. A ladder here, and for their pets, all kinds of sorry, I'm trying to look and see if there's that snake. There's like that one snake. It's creeping me out. Okay. Hey, Christy. Thanks so much, girl. And the kayak there as well. Yeah, I probably should be wearing a mask or something. Just kind of realized that. So later on in the morning, they're probably going to see if there are any residents in these homes here, but it's several feet of water. I mean, it's pretty bad out here, and the water's receding a little bit. If you see in the distance there, that's where we talked with the sheriff's deputy, and he's just been blocking this road. So that's what we're looking at. For those of you that have just joined, good morning. Show you where we are. We are at Mason Road, West Park Tollway, and Mason Road, just north of West Park Tollway. So it's kind of a weird area because it's Fort Bend County still, but there's Cinco Ranch. We're in Cinco Ranch, so it's still Katy. So it's kind of like that border area. Anyway, behind me you can see just several feet of water, and what I've been telling folks that you can't kind of tell through Facebook is that this is some nasty stuff. It smells really bad here, kind of like raw sewage and rotten, I don't even know rotten what, but just some rotten something or another. And there's debris everywhere. I've just kind of been on the lookout because I've been told that there are alligators. I mean, for sure there are alligators and snakes. We saw a dead snake over there, and they're small to large to anything. The point of me telling you all this is because it's very dangerous back there, the water, and some parents are letting their kids get in it, and that's just very dangerous. It's contaminated. I'm out here, even though I have rain boots on, I'm not going to get anywhere close to that water for several reasons. One, I'm probably a chicken when it comes to snakes and alligators, and then two, it's just contaminated and you don't want to deal with any of that. So anyways, hopefully there's no one back there, but there are vehicles. That's the camera that we've been going live with, and the little chair that my photographer uses in between live shots, but I think he's back in the car just because it smells so bad out here. But I wanted to show you what's going on. Also, folks have asked me about the picture that I posted yesterday. That I wasn't trying to get any sympathy or anything. I'm just trying to share and tell everyone that all this flooding, everything, it hits everyone, and it hit me too. My family's okay. Everyone's fine. It's just that my husband's grandparents, their home was flooded. So I was trying to get to that and help them out. But we're all fine, and it's material stuff, and I know that people now, if not before, and I'm guilty to it too, just realizing the importance of just family and loved ones and friends more so than anything else. So, you know, that's what I was trying to do, is just show you guys that it affected me too. So, but thank you all for your thoughts and your prayers, and keep them coming for people who need them out there. There are so many people, more than I think it was 50,000 that have been displaced from their homes. So, and many more, because we haven't really even started the recovery effort. There are people that are still trapped in their homes. By trapped, I mean they're not able to get out. So it's not like they're, which is what I've heard from people. I'm going to show you again there's a lot of people that have joined in. So welcome, good morning. My name is Rashi, in case you are just joining in and you haven't been on my page before. And we are just talking about all of the flooding that's been going on here in the Cinco Ranch area, this community here. This is north of West Park Tollway. And I'm going to show you what's going on. Here we go. Right there. So we're seeing all of these just like debris and stuff, and then the remnants of people self-evacuating. So you can see that people have used flotation devices. They have gas cans there. Gas is not expensive around here, guys, according to what I've seen, and I've driven around all over the place. So if you have seen very high gas prices, please let us know. But so far, we haven't seen a shortage of gas. So that might be more north. But here in the Houston area, we seem to be doing pretty good. You guys let me know if you've seen something different. But there aren't long lines or anything like that I've seen, and plenty of gas. I actually got some coffee from a gas station this morning. One of those little Starbucks things. Pretty good. Anyways, here you see a mattress, an air mattress used as, I guess, a makeshift raft to try to get across, and a ladder here, kayak, raft, and just a bunch of kennels for animals, trying to get the animals out. And the great thing is that so many shelters are accepting animals, because we're not discriminating, guys. This looks like Pipe Creek Animal Clinic. Just seeing some stuff here. Yes, Andrew, thank you so much. Texas will bounce back. Megan, this is Mason Road. Can't believe it's Mason Road, but yep, that's what it is. Mason Road here. So that's what we're seeing here. Again, you see these homes, they are all flooded out. Several feet of water in this community here. And really this whole area that's affected by the Barker Reservoir after there was that slow leak. So the water has been receding, and the reason we can tell is because you can see the line slowly move down. So the water was up more. Hey buddy, have I seen any alligators? No. If I saw an alligator, I'm not even trying to be funny, I don't even know what I would do. I would probably, I mean, he said they don't mess around with you, but I mean, I don't even know what I would do if I saw an alligator. Just not. It's just not cool. I'm a chicken when it comes to that, guys. But I'm sure they're great animals and stuff. It's just reptiles, but just not a big alligator fan. But anyways, you know what the deputy was saying? That the alligators probably not even around here because this water is too nasty for them, which is crazy. Yes, Becky, I think I would be running too. I would be running frantically. So I have been constantly checking to see if I hear anything because it's pretty quiet out here. But you're seeing these vehicles. These are just a couple of vehicles. There's several of them though. I can't imagine what we're gonna see once all of this water recedes, because yesterday when I was out getting to that family member's home, there were, I would say, hundreds of vehicles just almost to the roof top of the vehicle there, just like that, which is crazy. And again, it smells out here like raw sewage, which is not great, but it's what residents have to deal with. And just, hey Chris, any snakes around? You know, I think I've seen a few. I'm not sure, but there is one like dead one here. And Where did it go? It's not gross. That's what I'm showing you. It's just like a small itty bitty one right here. There you go. So you can see the smalls are big, small. I mean, my photographer spotted this and had to like tell me it's okay, it's dead, because I'm kind of a chicken when it comes to that. Yeah, look at this. It's just nasty water. It's just gross. The location. Okay, the location is Mason and I-10. So, no, sorry. I'm so sorry. No. It is West Park Tollway and Mason. West Park Tollway and Mason. So that is where we're at here. West Park Tollway and Mason Road. That's like a worm, not a snake. I know, but it has snake qualities, and my photographer said it was a snake, so I'm going with a snake. Whatever it is, it's dead, and it's not bothering anybody. But point is, for me to tell you about all this, the water is not good to go inside. Is the water on the tollway? No, the water is not on the tollway. It's when you get on to Mason, you just go maybe even a quarter of a mile and you'll see it. So this is north of West Park Tollway. If you make a left or going south, you will not run into water. But if you go north, closer to Katy, you will. Thanks, Johnny. Yeah, just called me a chicken. Cool. But this is a really sad situation out here. So many people affected, and I feel so bad for so many of them. Residents here are going to be probably coming back, trying to get to their homes and get whatever belongings they can, and try to get back to some type of normalcy, which is obviously going to take a long time for not just them, but for thousands and thousands of people.
So guys, you're watching what was this live report, a live digital report from Rashi. She's a reporter down in Houston, and pretty good behind the scenes look at what's going on with the flooding. That, like I said, the alligator scare. We saw a snake yesterday. Pretty wild stuff, but it looks like we're going to get some type of report out of the Houston Convention Center coming up shortly. So I'm going to switch this up a little bit. Here's a live look inside. Someone's going to be speaking there, I think. So we'll take away from her behind the scenes look and bring you over there. Again, we still have sort of these couple of shots, the flooding right beneath my face here, and then the Houston Convention Center, which has been a big haven really for people and for volunteers. The Red Cross, as you can see back there. So I think we're gonna get a little bit of a statement, but we'll check in with that. But if you're just joining us on the stream, welcome to Fox 5 Live. I'm in Washington, D.C., taking in these sources, guys, from all over. And mainly we got Houston coverage going on. So I'm just trying to see what we have. What's next while we wait for this. Check out this. Oh my gosh, this amazing, we'll bring you back here for a second. This amazing dog rescue from rushing waters. This video kind of went viral as well. And we're gonna let you take a look at that. Isn't that crazy? So I think it just repeats again, but I know the quality isn't amazing. But a lot of these sort of cell phone videos and stuff coming in, there's a little close up, because we've seen the pet rescue effort really blow up. Yesterday we had a ride along in that boat, the airboat and the other boat, to where the reporter down there was kind of going along with these families who were going back to see their pets for the first time. They'd been stranded there since they themselves got out on Monday. And that was just amazing to see. So we saw dogs and cats and even a tortoise and some guinea pigs and stuff like that. So pet rescues, all these videos coming out, they're becoming huge. If you guys are just joining us, welcome to the stream. Let me know where you're watching from. If anyone is, I'm not sure if everyone is sort of from the DMV area, but I know everyone kind of is from all over. We're going to take you guys back down to the convention center in just a second. Yeah, guys, not quite sure what we'll get from this, but it looks like they are setting up an area here for this gentleman to speak, maybe give some type of update from inside the convention center. But that's what you're looking at here in the left half of your screen, the sort of stable bump shot of the flooding in Houston. And if we get any more pictures, we'll bring them to you as well. I'm trying to look for some more interesting videos that we've been seeing coming out of this as we continue our coverage of the recovery efforts down in Houston. It's really just amazing to see the people coming together at the shelters, the people coming together to rescue pets and to help with what is most important to the people there that have lost nearly everything. A lot of people losing almost everything and being moved to tears even on camera to describe that. So I'm going to keep it here because I want to see what this guy has to say as we continue to check into the convention center down in Houston. And anything else that's breaking, guys, we'll bring it to you as well here on Fox 5 Live this afternoon.
I'm doing well. Yourself? No, I'm doing well. Can you hear me now? Wonderful. Okay. I appreciate it.
I'm not in the spot right now.
All right, guys, I thought we were about to have eyes on what looked like to be a talk back with the station there, but it looks like our shot has changed, and we're checking in with Fox News Channel now and their coverage. So we'll see what they bring us here. It looks like some type of ride-along with officials. Yeah, I'm not quite sure where they are, but we'll find out more for you guys.
We're going to take this on the Richmond, we're going to make a right. 183 goes up to the
good. We just we're on the 2.5 work continuing forward to get the second.
We'll share my location with Todd. I'm sharing mine with Justin. And
hey guys, in case you were wondering on the updates of the numbers and some of the stuff that's coming out of this, I thought it was kind of important to sort of re-up on what's going on. Apparently, according to public safety in Texas, more than 37,000 homes have been heavily damaged. Nearly 7,000 have been destroyed. And we know that 30,000 people are in shelters. 39 was the death toll count from earlier this morning. So just some quick sort of factual numbers for you guys to kind of get in perspective what's going on down there. This shot in the bottom right, I'm not quite sure what type of ride along it is, but I know it's a shot from Fox News Channel. So we're going to follow along with them to see where they're going. So the Texas flooding, and then this big shot here, I'll bring it full screen, is in Jackson Lake, Texas. That's the area in the Houston area that we're looking at from our sister station down there, getting that in. So we'll kind of bring both of these to you for updates. Looks like there's a truck going through it, even though that road is closed. Rescue truck, it looks like. And we'll go from there. Thanks for watching, guys.
They went off. They were the first ones to get off on foot at 11:30. Right now, Craig's looking where we're going to stop and either continue driving or use the 2.5, or we're going to get team 1 off and start the search on foot. Yeah, I had 11:40 when we got off. All right. Right here, right now. Okay, what are they?
Hey, Keith. So we are live again in 10 minutes. Should we just stay here and do it here? Would that make it easier for you guys? We're gonna pull forward. Okay. You got it. You got it.
Okay, so we actually have 2 2.5 coming in. One with the John boat. Oh God. Yeah. Right. Okay. And so the rate would be readily available at where? Right. Okay, I got it. Perfect. No, I'm just talking to the reporter. All right, just shoot me a text in that info. Yes. I'm out. I am out now. All right. I'm good. Sound like it. Get it. All right. Okay, I got you back on your phone. Are you on your phone also? I'll tell you this on the phone. So Chuck said the 2.5 is coming in with a John boat. He's only sending in 3 people just to help us load them or any
No, no.
manual labor we need. Okay. And then they are going to have a structural specialist come out also to get out here, do a look, and take a look.
Watch out. Watch out for losers, bro.
Guys, as we watch sort of this recovery effort, it looks like they went from land to water. They're on a boat now. So you still see these cars, these Jeeps submerged in water. It was really amazing to see the people that were waist deep or knee deep yesterday. And there's a car that's been pulled out. It seems to be on a riser. So we'll kind of watch this. This is all live, raw footage, guys. So you're watching live. But let me quickly, as we're looking at this destruction, at least juxtapose it with something good. This is a really cool, another viral video that went out. This was from Sunday morning, guys. Check this out. A guy went back into his home to get his son's stuffed animals and sat down at the piano and started playing this. I'm gonna let this play out. This was apparently Sunday morning, so we're already to Friday, but this was in the middle of it all.
It's not possible to stop there, is it?
I'm gonna have to tune this one.
Just a cool testament to see this. The video kind of replays, but it was an Instagram video that went viral. And in his post, he talks about how the city of Houston, it's all finally sinking in that the city is actually a goner, and something amazing, a miracle really needs to happen for something to kind of start over and be completely new in that city. But even in these moments sort of trauma, he was able to sit down and take that moment for himself and gather up a few things for his kids, and then he posted this video. So obviously it was him and someone else taking the shot, but some beauty in the suffering, of course, as we continue to try to bring you those videos. Let's bring this full screen. This is Fox News's coverage. They're obviously with police here on a boat with some more rescue reports and information. So we'll kind of stay with this for a little longer. It seems like we've been kind of doing this all week, but really this is dominating our coverage, and it's really amazing just to see some of these rescue efforts and people's attitudes throughout this all, and to kind of hear the facts and the updates and really feel for Houstonians in this devastating week for them.
Just so you guys are communicating with their guys, knowing that he was told he has to come back. Whoever your contact is with those guys. That'll give us a minute. Yes, he believes you may be wrong. So how long do you need?
It's 11:57. We're gonna hit at about 1 minute after. This will last 2 minutes, so we'll be able to. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, just want to hear what you guys expect to see, you know? And you're with who? Los Angeles? Yeah, California Task Force 1. What's your first name? Chris Mille. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep.
We want to go live in 3 minutes.
and then we'll be able to leave. Just this. I'm gonna do it into live video.
So we're not worried about that.
We'll show that, yeah.
I mean, we're trying to figure out we need to.
You need to go?
Yeah.
Then go. This is about live, so go. If we lose our shot, we do.
I got it. Frank, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. No, most important is what you guys are doing, so disregard.
That's a good shot, though, with the start.
It is, but you know what? We're.
Oh, man, you guys got it, though. You can edit it in later, right?
Yep.
So we're going to be doing a rolling move.
Yep.
Oh, I like this.
IFB, if you guys hear me, just blast my IFB if you can, because we're on a loud truck.
All right, so you guys are watching some live ride-along reports coming from Fox News. We're going to take this in and see what the latest is from police down there. You can see the reporter is on the rescue boat. Look at those beautiful homes surrounding it. It's really just amazing to see some of the devastation, and I'm sure we'll get some new information and facts. And then in the second quarter of your screen, you see some cars, some trucks rather, going through that closed area, that road closed area of flooding at Jackson Lake in the Houston area of Texas. These are both live videos that we're following.
Buddy, just stay with me, okay?
Throughout the day.
Chris, right?
So tune in with us, guys. Stay here for an update. He's about to hit, I think, on TV, so we'll stay with him for now.
Roger, let us know. On Haney? Oh, yeah, Haney, okay.
It really gives you an idea. Hey, Amy. Hold on to her back.
Yeah, we got it. Thank you. I'm not going to record. Of course not. But millions of people are watching. There's that apartment coming up.
Yeah, we are here with FEMA crews from California, New Jersey, Arizona, Tennessee. This is the town of Wharton. It flooded very severely last night because water from the north is pouring here into Wharton. We're being told this is the bathtub of Texas, one of the lowest points. So now this town is underwater, yet another place in Texas where there are active search and rescues right now. Leland, it's sunny. This storm hit about 1 week ago, but there are still recoveries happening here in the state of Texas. I want to introduce you to Chris from Los Angeles Fire. Chris, what can you guys potentially see out here right now as far as people?
Well, we're coming back again to finish up a wide area search, looking for people with medical needs that maybe need to get out now. We're looking for folks on their homes that maybe be flagging us down that have decided it's time to leave. Primarily people that have pre-existing medical conditions that need to get out of here now.
Chris, we thank you for your service. Thank you very much. So, Leland, as you could see, nearly a week after Harvey made landfall, and it is still a scene of devastation here in Wharton, Texas. Back to you in New York, Leland.
So it's a quick live shot back to New York from Fox News Channel. Let's stay with him. He might have another little piece of information for us, but it sounds like they're in the lowest point of Texas, so the highest, some of the highest flooding.
You know, right now, I couldn't give the official word or whether they're needed, but I will tell you what, we have seen so many endless civilian volunteers. We have seen that Cajun Navy, and I can only imagine that there are officials in this area who are welcoming any type of civilian rescues, but I couldn't give you the official word on that, Leland. We will. We've seen people walking around already, so we will keep you updated, Leland. Definitely. Sure.
I have a question. Are you guys still welcoming the Navy and civilians?
We're going to defer to them on that.
Yeah, okay.
I think we're doing good. We're kind of limiting what we can do now based on our equipment that we have in the water. We're having one team search one street with the waders, and the other team's going to work on the land. So. Can you copy when you're out there?
Hey,
keeping your eye on the
are you or other agencies still welcoming?
Guys, we'll check in with a report from our Houston Fox station down there, Fox 26. They've been covering this obviously for days, and sounds like he'll give a brief update in a second. But let me show you this video too. This is crazy. Talk about making good out of a situation, out of a bad situation. Check out this guy fishing in his own home. This is a Houston man gone fishing. See if this loads for us. There it is. Check it out. I guess they're having fun with it because they're laughing and everything, but some fish appeared in his living room and he made the best of it. So he caught one. Thought that was pretty funny. So lots of videos like that obviously cropping up as people are trying to find the good in a bad situation. We'll check back in down here for this next update on what's going on. And just keep in mind, obviously, guys, we're just kind of rolling around to all the different sources. All these cameras are interruptible, unedited pieces. So just be aware of that as you follow along with us.
Farms, even though this is farms, they call it
So Jackson, you said there might be an evacuation?
No, it's mandatory now.
Okay.
They have to get out.
And what's...
Did you drive this way? Are you from?
Yeah, we came in that way, but we came in at like 5 in the morning.
So you went there early. Yeah. So there's, right after this, you have 3 streets. You have Spanish Oaks, Jackson Oaks, and the third one. So Spanish Oaks was already taking water, and they had mandatory evacuation, and now it's overflowed into Jackson Oaks, and they're saying get out. Which, when we came back, it was pretty close. I mean, maybe a foot away from hitting the road. I don't know how high up that is, but this way a foot. And we don't have a high car.
Yeah.
But they seem to know because she just got the message about Guy.
Yeah.
And somehow they must be helping with animals.
And I keep telling them.
So they've asked him to wait. So there's a family still back there in an area that needs to get.
Here we go. Yeah, those Memorial Day floods, something that they won't forget, but this is something that they for sure won't forget. An unprecedented flooding event occurring here, and these waters continue to rise in Brazoria County. We're in, as you said, the Lake Jackson area. Those are the Lake Jackson homes. Several dozen homes back there. We're told that there are still people in those homes, and those voluntary evacuations have just changed. A few of these subdivisions have now turned into mandatory evacuations, and this is just within the past couple of minutes. Folks have been out here. They've been willing to help. We've shown you all morning long, some having water, cookies, bananas for people who are coming out. This area has been inundated by the floods, and that's because of the rising Brazos River. And Bonnie has been somebody who's been here helping people, and you just received a text message, those voluntary evacuations. I'm going to have you just read the text message and who it's from.
Immediate mandatory evacuation for Jackson Oaks and Harvard Oaks subdivision in Lake Jackson. All residents should leave now. River flood water is pushing into Lake Jackson from west, which can inundate this area. High-profile equipment is available to assist in evacuation. Residents affected should take action now.
And that's from who?
That comes from the city. I get
Okay.
texts from them regularly.
So that's the information here. This water continues to rise here in the Lake Jackson area, and so they're making sure that people who are in this subdivision and in this community get out, because what was once voluntary is now transitioning to mandatory, because all of that water is flowing down, heading to the Gulf of Mexico. We're live in Brazoria County. Stephen Morgan, Fox 26 News.
Some updates from Stephen Morgan down there, guys. People still being asked or being recommended to get out of there as the waters flow down to these neighborhoods, these areas.
That's exactly right. Yeah, in fact, there is one family we know of for sure who's back there. Some people were just back there with boats, and they said, hey, can you come back in like an hour? And we're getting to the point here where those waters might be too high. So we know for sure there are families back here. It's a serious situation. It's something we saw unfolding in the Houston area. Of course, we had that coupled with rain. It's dry here, and so that lessens the severity or the perceived severity. It's for sure, Joe, just as serious. Right. Yeah, I agree, and there's another boat just going in right behind us, so people are getting that word. Back to you guys.
All right, guys, so that was the latest, obviously, in an area, Jackson Lakes, these smaller areas being affected, and Stephen Morgan, reporter down there, giving that update. But let's take you back over to Houston. Here's our feed from there. It's a little bright.
Okay, because they're chained up. All right, all good. I got it right here. Well, big.
The lighting isn't perfect on this one, but guys, an inside look at what they're doing down in some Houston neighborhood. In just a second here, we're going to bring you over to the Oval Office with some playback of President Trump just from moments ago in the Oval Office. Now, earlier we were talking about what might happen today, and that is the possible editing of or repeal, essentially, of DACA, which is a presidential policy that Obama put in place in the sort of immigration realm. It affects children of undocumented immigrants in the U.S. We have not really heard an update necessarily on that, but we'll see what is happening in the Oval Office when we get this video in for you. But for now, guys, live pictures still in Houston as we continue our live breaking news coverage here on Fox 5 Live.
Yep.
Okay. Very good with it. This is the RFP. The guest that our host is Kathy.
Okay.
And it's coming from Texas and from the States.
Yes. Okay. Okay. And then walk closer to them, maybe? Just a little bit?
All right, guys, let's switch it up to the Oval Office. This was President Trump moments ago.
the States. How are you? I'm sorry. My name is Matt Finn with Fox News. We're calling in from the flooding in Texas. Yes. Another time?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, guys, clearly having a little issue with this playback video, so we're going to attempt to get it and bring it to you because I'm curious about what's going on, too. We have not seen President Trump, at least on live video pictures today. As they get this ready, we'll bring it back to you when it is and take you back to Houston.
Yeah, if you don't mind calling me maybe 5 minutes beforehand, but I can call too. Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Okay. Thanks, bud. They booked us up an hour. Yes, ma'am.
All right, guys, lost our sound on this for some reason, so we're going to jump back. Now we're finally getting in this President Trump video. Here we go. Let's see what this is all about.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Americans have always come to the aid of their fellow countrymen. Friend helping friend, neighbor helping neighbor, stranger helping stranger. We've seen it perhaps more so than at any time, so vividly at least, during Hurricane Harvey. From the beginning of our nation, Americans have joined together in prayer during times of great need to ask for God's blessing and God's guidance. When we look across Texas and Louisiana, we see the American spirit of service embodied by countless men and women. Brave first responders have rescued those stranded in drowning cars and rising water, and I have to tell you that I've watched the Coast Guard. Thousands of lives have been saved by our great Coast Guard. They have done incredible work in the most vicious seas that they've seen in many, many years. Families have given food and shelter to those in need. Houses of worship have organized efforts to clean up communities and repair damaged homes. People have never seen anything quite like this. Individuals of every background are striving for the same goal, to aid and comfort people facing devastating losses. As Americans, we know that no challenge is too great for us to overcome. No challenge. We invite all Americans to join us as we continue to pray for those who have lost family members and friends, and for those who are suffering from this great crisis. And behind me, we have faith-based people who are highly respected, and especially so in their communities where they're not only respected, but they're loved. Evangelical leaders, Christian leaders, many people of faith. And I just want to thank you all for being with us today, because we're going to be signing a day of prayer, and that'll be on Sunday. It'll be a very special day, and I don't know when this was done last, but it's been a long time ago.
Yes,
is that a correct statement?
right.
It's been a long time ago. So I'm going to sign it, and then a few of the folks will say a few words, and Pastor Jeffress will say a prayer for not only the people so affected, so horribly affected by Hurricane Harvey, but for the people of our nation, and in fact, the people of our world.
Yes.
Okay? Okay. So this is going to all of you. You're all going to get one of them. Would somebody like to say a word or two to these very lovely people gathered before us?
Mr. President, we want to thank you for your leadership and for declaring this day of prayer that we desperately need in our nation. I was talking with some of the faith leaders on the ground in Houston today who are diligently working to not only rescue and help recover and restore these families, and they commented on the great cooperation that they're experiencing both from the local, state, and federal levels, and they wanted to send their heartfelt gratitude to you and to all of your team for the difference we're making in these people's lives. So thank you for your leadership.
Thank you very much. That's very nice.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Well,
Mr. President, I think it goes without saying that in a moment like this, we all come together as Americans. We all bow to Almighty God. We ask for His grace and His mercy over those who are affected. And we thank you, the Vice President, and your entire team, FEMA, everything you're doing to deploy every resource of government to help those who have been affected. And most of all, Mr. President, we thank you for acknowledging that ultimately it is God who is the source of our unity as Americans, and I thank you for issuing this proclamation today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Mr. President, people of faith of all backgrounds know that prayer changes things. And a great work is done by anyone who calls a nation to prayer. And so we want to give you thanks for calling us to prayer, because no matter where we are and across whatever spectrum, we know that prayer changes things and it unites a nation. So thank you, sir, for uniting our nation and calling us to prayer.
Thank you very much.
I just want to add that in our community, we have been praying. We started a 40-day fast for the healing of America and the sovereign protection of God. There's some things that we have to make, not diminishing your office, but an appeal to a higher source. We've got to look to heaven. He will empower us, strengthen you, and give you wisdom.
Bless you. Thank you. Don't be shy. What are you? Since when are you shy?
I'm not shy, Mr. President. Mr. President, this is a great moment. The country has a lot of challenges. You know that as president. To ask the country to turn back to God, to pray, is just an incredible thing for a president to do. I guess George Washington was the first one to do it. A lot of Americans may have forgotten that the country was built on a moral idea. In the second paragraph of the Declaration of Independence, I know you know it, all men are created equal, endowed by their creator, that's God, with certain unalienable rights. Among these, the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what makes us a shining city on a hill that you're the honored president of, and reminding the American people of that is an amazing thing.
Well, thank you very much. It's very nice. Appreciate it. Anybody else? Anybody else?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Right from the beginning. Go
Yes,
ahead.
indeed. Thank you so much for your personal gift to the victims. I know Southern Baptists and evangelicals and people of all faiths and no faith are out there helping one another, and we appreciate your exampling and going tomorrow to show presence. We call something called a ministry of presence. Sometimes it just means something to be there for people, and I appreciate you already having been there and you're going again. I just deeply appreciate that, and it shows a connection with the people that is so needed. And so I just personally want to say thank you.
Thank you very
on
much.
behalf of Southern Baptists and Americans.
Amen. Very
Thank
nice.
you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Pastor Paula?
I just thank you, sir, for calling our nation to God, and it's been an honor to not only know you for 16 years, but to serve with your faith leaders and to say that you always have put God first, and you challenge us and continue to challenge us as you lead us. We thank you for your personal works, and this, I believe, is a new beginning for us. That as we look forward, we are going to see great things come. Thank you for this unprecedented.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Pastor Jeffress?
Yes.
Prayer?
Let's pray together, may we?
Yes.
Father, your word says, if your people who are called by your name will humble themselves and pray and seek your face, you will forgive their sins and heal their land. Father, I thank you that we have a president, President Donald Trump, who believes in the power of prayer. We thank you for a vice president like Vice President Pence, who works alongside of him. And we thank you that the president had the wisdom to call our nation right now for a day of prayer this coming weekend. Father, this is what we need. We pray for healing for our country. We pray for physical healing for those who have suffered the devastation from Hurricane Harvey. Father, be with them, provide for their needs. Help us to be the embodiment of Jesus Christ as we minister to them. But Father, we also want to pray for spiritual healing, emotional healing for our country. This country has been bitterly divided for decades upon decades, and now you have given us a gift, President Donald Trump, who wants to bring healing to this country, and he is bringing healing to this country. And I pray that you would give him and Vice President Pence the wisdom they need to truly make our country the country you want us to be. We want America to be great again, and we can know that America can only be great if America is good. And we know we have a president who wants to make America good. I pray your blessing upon him, the First Lady, their family. Give them wisdom as they seek to honor you. And we pray this in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, who came and died and rose again that we might have eternal life. It's in his name that we pray. Amen.
Amen. It's beautiful. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Love you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. President, what's your decision on DACA, Mr. President?
Thank you very much.
A decision on DACA?
Sometime today or over the weekend, we'll have a decision.
Should dreamers be worried?
We love the dreamers. We love everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you. We'll issue it sometime over the weekend, maybe this afternoon. We're working on emergency funding. We're doing everything we can, and we're working very well with the governor, who's done a terrific job.
What do you say, Phil? Come on, Press. What do you say to dreamers who are scared right now? Who feel like they're going to be killed?
I think the dreamers are terrific.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
All right, so President Trump sort of mysteriously teases when he'll be releasing his decision on the presidential policy of DACA, as we were referencing earlier, deferred action for the children of immigrants. He's saying maybe this afternoon, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Could be this weekend. We're going to bring you back to full screen of the Houston coverage, guys. So President Trump signs a National Day of Prayer for this Sunday, amid, of course, all the compassion and rescue efforts and prayer, really, that has been offered surrounding this, which is what you're seeing here as police and reporters go into the thick of it, the worst hit parts of Houston from the hurricane. And we'll continue to bring you this stuff. I want to show you guys this. Check out this, really cool. We're bringing you all these viral videos. This horse rescue, guys. Anybody see this? I don't think I have sound on it, or maybe I do. Nope. But this was in Beaumont, Texas. The intense video shows the rescue of two horses after the very heavy rainfall in this area. They were stranded near a home. You can see they're next to a home in the video. Yeah, pretty amazing stuff, and really tough for, of course, horse lovers and animal lovers to see some of these rescues. This is our live cam down there right now. This is what we have from Fox News Channel. Police are on a ride along with this reporter, and not a lot of new information or live shots coming out of that. But we'll leave you with a shot of that for just a second as we continue our coverage, guys, this afternoon. Hey guys, I apologize that there's no sound on this video. I'm not quite sure why, but this is a live ride along. Fox News is in Houston, feeding it back and just giving us an inside look at some of the devastation in Houston as we've been following the flooding. We just saw a quick video of playback from earlier this morning, President Trump signing what will be a National Day of Prayer this Sunday, of course, in wake of all the events and people coming together with compassion and prayers for the Houston community throughout all of this. And of course, we mentioned too, teasing out that it's possible he'll reach a decision on what he's going to do with DACA, the presidential policy involving children of undocumented immigrants, that he may reach it this afternoon. So we'll keep an eye on that, but it may be over the weekend as well, the long holiday weekend. We'll be back here with more live news next week on Tuesday. For you guys throughout the afternoon, and we'll have to check back in, of course, with Harvey and the recovery efforts there and what's going on as the numbers kind of continue to rise. Thousands of volunteers showing up, hundreds rather, to assist the victims, and then thousands of them themselves are victims. 30,000 in shelters, 1,000 for sure stranded from their homes, maybe 7,000 or so homes destroyed, and 39 is the death count as of this morning. So that's what's going on in Houston, guys. This is our live picture for you guys as you watch during your lunch break. Thanks so much for checking in with us on our stream. You can catch us here on the YouTube channel and also on the website. At the bottom of the website, we post this stream on the weekdays every day. So don't forget to check in with us and be part of our channel. So we're going to kind of keep searching for more information and more video for you guys to enjoy coming out of our Fox stations and around the country. Looks like they're at a railroad track. Again, I wish I had sound on this, but I don't quite know why I don't yet. But if we do, make sure we bring that up for you guys. Live coverage from Houston.
Yeah, I'm blessed. Why are you blessed? God is good. God ain't gonna put no more than you can bear. And that's what it is. Where's your home?
Is it underwater?
Yep.
Where do you go from here?
To my sister's house.
Your sister's house? Is hers underwater? All right. Do you need any assistance, food or water or anything? You good? That's a pretty good attitude for being in a town that looks like an island.
I know that's right. I know that's right. You good?
All right. Thank you. Thanks.
Looks like they found someone. We got our sound back, and she seems to be doing okay. I think it's nice of them to offer their assistance, obviously water, anything that's needed. But people are coming together. They seem like they're at least the people that they're finding are doing okay. They have family members or friends in the area who are taking them in, and they seem to be staying strong in their faith.
Nobody tending to them animals? I said there ain't nobody taking care of them animals? Man, they got a lot, man, they're starving, man. They got a bunch of them down that street this way. Oh, yeah. I fed one of them my lunch. Man, want to get in the boat with me.
Sir, we're with Fox News. Could you do a quick interview?
And as they turn off those cameras, let's flash it back to our local reporter camera in Houston. They're in, I think, still Jackson Lake, Texas, guys. That's what we're looking at.
Can you hear me? Hello, hello?
Yeah, for Anthony, she's right next to me. She's talking to TFL. I'll relay a message. Yeah, I was looking for McGinnis. Is the other Houston out here yet? I think he's on it. A little bit of high water here. Yeah, we're still standing by for the Houston. I think there's John Bull in there, so there's a little bit of a delay. Copy. Yeah, so you're kind of know where we're at. We're going to stem it up on Shepherd and D. We're going to make a left on D. We're going to continue to
Guys, I know we've been sort of butting in with some politics today, just whatever's coming out of the White House. And coming up shortly, we're going to have another quick video from President Trump, another playback of some tape of him in the Oval Office, something different than we just saw. So we just saw him sign a National Day of Prayer for Sunday. Continuing to look at these live pictures of the flooding. This is pretty compelling video right here, coming from Fox, and the flooding in the Houston area. And so in a minute, we're going to go back over to the White House for President Trump, but not too much coming out of the White House today. Like I said, we're waiting to see if anything pressing comes out about that policy DACA. That may happen over the weekend, over the Labor Day weekend, or maybe something will happen shortly, but keeping our eye on that. But really, this compelling picture, as we've had all week, truly all week, since this all happened last weekend, still the murky, muddy, waist-deep water in the Houston area, and this is just, these pictures just say it all, really. And there's a dog. I hope that they get him. All right, we're going to keep bringing you these pictures and then jump over to the White House in just a second when we get this tape in to see what President Trump had to say today. Thanks so much for staying on the stream, guys. Stig and Truth and everybody, and Graham, if you're on. Thanks for joining us as always. Keep the comments flowing if you have any thoughts or questions.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
President, do you think DACA is illegal? Do you think DACA
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
We'll be releasing on DACA sometime over the weekend, probably Sunday, Saturday. Latest will be Monday.
Thanks, everyone.
Great feeling for
Do you think
DACA.
it's illegal?
Excuse me?
DACA is illegal? Is that your saying?
Thank you.
Thank you.
But we'll be making a request, absolutely.
Thank you, everyone.
For the state of Texas, yes. And Louisiana. And tomorrow I'm going to Louisiana with the First Lady and Texas. It'll be Texas, Louisiana. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, so well, if that was it, I guess it was just a quick statement about his decision on DACA and also his schedule. But we're going to keep an eye to see if they change that, if it's something else that we missed earlier. Because sometimes when they play these back, we don't get the whole of it until later. All right, let's switch it up, guys. We're back in Houston. Look at this ride along on the recovery boat, as always, and we'll see what's new.
Stop. Yeah, we're gonna finish up this block and then we're gonna come back on that guy. Just squeeze that out for we'll work on that in a second. You got it. The guy that was way down there, like several hundred yards.
No, that's Amy's. These are hazmat. Okay.
No, the camera's fine. I just don't want you to take it after back. We really don't want to get zoomed into this.
I hear you. You've got enough to
No,
do.
none of us do.
Right.
One of the guys' knife, he was using it, dropped it.
Hey guys, looks like we lost that feed for now. Things are kind of jumbled in here today, obviously. Let's go back to that playback of President Trump is just coming in and just see the entirety of this clip.
Thank you. Hi. Hi, Steve. Thank you very much. The First Lady and I are pleased to welcome Gail McGovern of the American Red Cross, David Hudson of the Salvation Army, and Kevin Easel of Southern Baptist Disaster Relief. These people have been absolutely incredible in what they've done. We'd like to thank them and their staff and volunteers for the incredible work. they're doing and in helping people affected by Hurricane Harvey. Sounds like a very innocent name, but it's not an innocent hurricane, that I can tell you. It's of epic proportion. These organizations and the many other nonprofits involved represent the generosity, determination, and unbreakable spirit of the American people. And Mike Pence was there yesterday and represented this country so well in the love and the care. And I had so many just great comments about your visit, so I appreciate it. Thank you, friend. When a disaster strikes, they work to help others in the time of need, which was over the last week, believe me. They've already provided tens of thousands of displaced Gulf Coast residents with meals, water, shelter, fresh blankets, and clean clothing. When one American suffers, and I say this quite a bit, and especially lately when you see what's going on, we all suffer. We're one American family brought together in times of tragedy by the unbreakable bonds of love and loyalty that we have for one another. And there is a great love and a great loyalty in this country, and I think we've all seen it, maybe more so than ever before over the last 4 days. So I think we really have seen it. Nowhere is our unity more evident than in the actions of our volunteer and charitable organizations that rally to their neighbors' aid when disaster strikes. The people of Texas and Louisiana were hit very hard by a historic flood. In their response, they have taught us all a lesson, a very, very powerful lesson. There was no outbreak in crime. There was an outbreak of compassion only, real, beautiful, strong compassion. And they've really inspired us as a nation. To be honest, they've inspired the world because the world is watching. We're pleased to receive an update from Gail, David, and Kevin on the work of the Red Cross Salvation Army and the Southern Baptist Disaster Relief. The federal government is on the ground bringing in significant resources to bear, and I want to assure these organizations and the others involved that we will continue to coordinate with them and bring all of the relief and the comfort and everything else that we absolutely can to the Gulf Coast. And I want to also thank the governor and lieutenant governor of Texas. They have been outstanding. Just the coordination and the level of relationship has been, I think, pretty much unprecedented. So I just want to thank them. I want to thank all of the folks working on the ground for the administration. Tom Bossart's here today. Tom, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Every American heart is with the people of Texas and Louisiana. They're strong and resilient, and they have really overcome, and we're in the process of just about where I can say overcome this horrible devastation. Now it's going back to work, but the Coast Guard in particular, I have to also thank. They saved probably thousands of lives. We were just talking about it, going onto seas that very few people would want to be on in the worst of times, and they were saving a lot of people out there. Together, we will help them all recover from this tragedy. We'll renew our hope in community, and we'll renew our hope and rebuild those homes and businesses and schools and places of worship with a strength and vigor that comes from the love within our souls. And I just authorized and signed a proclamation for prayer, and we're going to have on Sunday a prayer Sunday. And Mike, that was something that was very special, just took place. So I think it's going to be something to see and to witness. It's been a long time, and our country deserves it, frankly. I want to thank my wife, Melania, the First Lady. She's been so involved in this and helping so much, and so I want to thank you. Would you like to say a few words to start off?
It's great to be here with an amazing people, and I want to thank all the volunteers all across the country that came to help to Texas, and fantastic job. And we are going tomorrow to visit them, and I just want to tell them to be strong, and everything will be okay on the end of.
See, I didn't tell her I was going to do that, Steve. And she did a great job. But she really has. She's been so dedicated to this. This has very much affected her, what's happened in Texas and neighboring states, frankly. So I want to thank you. First Lady, thank you. Salvation Army.
Yes, well, we're first of all very appreciative of this opportunity and appreciative of our partners in service. We are working hand in hand with groups like the Red Cross, where they provide shelter for people, and we're able to provide meals. And even though we're limited in being able to get in to a lot of the impacted areas, we've already served hundreds of thousands of meals, and literally millions of meals will be served. And we can only do this as we partner together. And as I've told my coworkers, this is a time that we're all Texans. And no matter where you're from, we're all about serving Americans in need. And I'd like to thank you, Mr. President, the Red Cross, and the Baptist, and all the other agencies that partner with us. Together, we can make a difference.
Thank you very much. Very nice. Southern Baptist.
We're 3 different organizations, but we work best as one. And the joy of this is we really do lock arms and have the capacity to feed over 400,000 people a day. And Mr. President, thank you for FEMA. They've been incredible through this. We've gone through many disasters, and they've done just a fantastic job of stepping to the plate and being prepared and allowing us to volunteer in the way we're prepared to do.
Well, I think we should thank Brock Long and all of the people at FEMA and the people at Homeland. And I have to say, General Kelly, who's been so much involved. As you know, he just left, and he's now in the White House, but his spirit and everything else that's been involved over the last few weeks getting ready, because really this has been probably now almost 2 weeks since we felt it was probably going to hit that area. But General Kelly has done a fantastic job, and Elaine Duke, has been terrific. So I want to thank all of our folks. Tell me, Red Cross, how are we doing?
So first of all, our hearts go out to the people of Texas, and on behalf of the entire American Red Cross, so many people have lost everything and presented in our shelters with just the clothes on their back. I visited one of the shelters outside of Austin, and it housed about 200 people, and I had the opportunity to talk to all the families, everyone from a 6-month-old baby to a 6'8" man, and everybody in between. And you heard stories of heartbreak and heartache, but the one thing that I have seen in the 9 years that I've been with the American Red Cross is the incredible resiliency of the American people.
Sure.
They are bound and determined to build back. And there are about 40,000 people in our shelters right now across the state of Texas. And our volunteers are pouring in, giving them comfort, hope. We've served about 390,000 meals and snacks. And the incredible thing is our partners are there. They are getting hot meals into our hands so that we can serve them. Government has just been phenomenal. I mean, when we had a hard time getting our volunteers in, the city gave us dump trucks so we can get volunteers and cots in. Department of Defense gave us high water vehicles, 20 of them, so we could break in and bring needed supplies. So I'm just so appreciative of the teamwork. I'm appreciative of your support. And again, our hearts go out to the people of Texas.
Thank you very much, Gail. It's very nice. 390,000.
Meals and snacks.
And that's up till now.
Just up till, as of last
You'll
night.
be doubling that. That's tremendous.
I'm quite sure we will
Tremendous
be.
job. Mike, would you like to say something?
Mr. President, having just returned from Southeast Texas yesterday, we heard the resilience, the character, the faith, the people of these communities. We heard their gratitude to you and the First Lady for the administration's support, for your compassion, for their admiration for our first responders from FEMA down to local leadership. But I also heard, Mr. President, about their gratitude for volunteer organizations that have literally been there from the very outset of this storm. And I want to thank you and the First Lady for taking the opportunity to call attention to the Salvation Army and the Red Cross and Southern Baptist Disaster Relief. But anyone looking on should know that that while the federal government is going to be there at your direction, we'll be seeking resources from the Congress to make sure that disaster relief is available for individuals and businesses. Literally, the work of meeting people's human needs each and every day will take all of us.
And these volunteer organizations need resources and they need people. And I would just add, Mr. President, that anyone looking on can go to nvoad.org. It's our website where all these organizations are listed. People can find out how they can be supportive of national volunteer organizations that at this very hour and for weeks and months ahead will be coming alongside families as they rebuild their lives.
That's great. Thank you, Mike. Thank you very much. This is just some of the locations that over a very short period of time they and others have managed to go to. Some of these locations, as you know very well, some of the press has been there, and I will say they are devastated. 2 days ago, there was water like nobody's ever seen before. I guess in the history of our country, we've never had an amount of water like we've had. And yet, you were able to occupy all of these different locations and take care of people, you and the others. So we want to just thank you. That's really a special, special job. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Gail. Thank you very much. Great job. Great job. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
President, do you think DACA is illegal?
Thank you very much.
Well, there it is, guys. The update. It was more than what I thought. It was more about the relief efforts, obviously, in Houston. American Red Cross, the Salvation Army got to speak as well. We heard some words from the First Lady. And then we took this in earlier. He gets asked by some reporters about DACA. Apparently, he's saying by latest, his decision will be Monday. If not, maybe Sunday or Saturday. So we'll keep an ear out for that. I know our web people are all on it for today and through the weekend. So that's some big stuff coming out of there. So we'll take it back in. That is done. That was just moments ago. Sometimes we get those playbacks from the White House because they taped on it and then they send it over to us. So not exactly live, but really just moments ago. And nothing really exactly new coming out of Houston for us, guys. Still, Fox News Channel is down there on their ride along to get in some more pictures of the scene down there. So with that, guys, we're going to end the show today. Thank you so much for checking in to our digital stream. You can see behind me, there's the YouTube sort of picture of what we are, Fox 5 DC. You can look us up on YouTube. We're also on the website during the weekdays when we broadcast. And get ready for a whole new look next week. We're going to be having a little bit of a new background for you guys to see a little bit what goes on in our newsroom. And I'll be back to bring you the news. So we'll see what's going on during the lunch hour next week after Labor Day. Everybody have a great, safe Labor Day on Monday, and we'll see you on Tuesday, guys. Since we are in D.C., let's go over to a live shot of what it looks like over at the White House where we just were with President Trump, guys. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Tuesday.